Hi, welcome to the Crochet Authority podcast, the best and maybe smallest corner of the internet, where three incredibly talented and beautiful women claim to know everything there is to know about fiber arts.
We are Morgan,
Anna,
And Savannah.
three crocheters turned BFFs who consistently have too much to say.
consider this a glimpse into not only our conversations, but our overflowing and powerful minds. From our group chat to your ears, welcome to the pod.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, everybody.
Yay.
Is this episode
20.
20?
Wow.
That's actually kind of crazy.
That
Right.
We're
is.
coming up on the anniversary now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, August,
we
right?
started last summer.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ew, time is a construct.
Crazy.
I don't want to think about it.
Crazy.
LOL.
Wow. Well, welcome back, everybody. How are we all doing? Absolutely nothing eventful has happened recently.
No,
No.
not at all.
No. Savannah, you want to lead us
graduated.
off?
I did. It was very exciting. No, honestly, if we're being for realsies, I don't feel any different. I think it's because I'm not moving out of my college town, like immediately after graduation, like everyone else is, and I'm not starting a job, and I'm not like, I don't know. I'm still here. I'm still gonna walk around campus. I'm just not gonna be taking classes actively. But obviously, still, yay! I graduated. My sister also graduated with her master's the day before I graduated. So it was quite the
How'd that
weekend
go?
for us. It was good. It was lots of driving over the course of a couple days, but it was so sweet. I also went to a yarn festival in Carmel, Indiana, the day after my graduation. And the bookstore that it was like sponsoring it, the lady who runs it, she had seen my story about graduating, and she got me a cookie cake for the graduation, which is so nice.
So nice, and I'm also
Yeah.
severely jealous.
That
But
is
yeah.
so sweet.
We showed up and she was like, yeah, I got this for you. I saw your story. I was like, oh, what do you mean?
I love
That's
nice
lovely."
people.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
I want a cookie
And
cake.
then
Damn.
I think she was like talking to people throughout the festival, and everyone kept on coming up to me and was like, are you the one that graduated? I was like, yes, I am.
Stop. That is so sweet.
It was so nice. And it was also a weird thing. I was obviously there like selling the book or whatever and just chatting with people, and I had my mom with me, and they seemed to think that either my mom was the one who wrote the book or that neither of us wrote the book, because after chatting so many people, at least a dozen people, after like 30 seconds would be like, oh, you wrote this. I was like, yeah, that's why it's the only thing on my table, and why I just told you that the flower rolls I have laid out are the ones on the cover, and
And
was just
that's
a-
also me.
yeah. Do you
Literally
see
me on the
that
cover.
picture? Yeah,
Not
yeah.
just
we
a
look
model,
pretty
not just a
similar.
pretty face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I couldn't really figure out where the, I don't know,
Disconnect
miscommunication
was, yeah.
was. Yeah.
Well, they probably thought about it. They were like, if some of the people who made those comments were also the ones coming up to you saying like, oh, were you the one who just graduated? They probably were just like, there's simply no way that this woman would have had time to not only graduate college, but write a book. So
Yes.
it probably honestly wasn't in like an insulting way. They were
no, I
just
don't
like
think it was. Yeah.
like, what do you mean that you did both of these things simultaneously? That's like actually crazy.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But it's like also like that is in fact, hi, my name's Savannah, that's my name in
Yeah.
the book.
Mhm,
And also that's my face.
Yeah. I'm not just sitting
There it
here
is.
like selling a book that I didn't write for a bookstore
It's
that
me.
I don't work at. Like, but it was good.
That's
It was
so
a
funny.
great weekend. I love having
Yeah.
my parents around because I don't pay for food.
That's so
Real.
Yes.
Very real.
So
Yeah.
delicious. How are you
Fun.
guys? Anyone graduate lately?
Not recently, no.
No. But Anna, you will sometime.
in the next year, yes. I mean,
Sounds
I
very
am-
threatening.
no, I am having like a slight crisis that it
Oh.
is almost a year since I graduated undergrad.
Yeah.
Not to like, I'm also just, we're different people, so maybe it won't. And I actually hope it doesn't affect you in the same way it's affected me, because
Yeah.
it's crazy.
I feel like everyone goes through that though. Like I hear the
100%.
same. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was on my actual graduation day. Unfortunately, it rained, so I was kind of in like a sour mood,
Mhm.
just because I cannot stand when my like clothes are sticking to me, and it was
Yeah.
just like, just felt like the culmination of like what my college experience was. You know what I mean?
Aw. Yeah.
So I was kind of grouchy, which started it off not great, but on top of it, it was just like, wow, this chapter's closing, and then the not having a job thing. Like, being in your 20s is a very confusing, like, gray area time. It is just weird. Like, it's not necessarily bad. It's just like,
It is.
it's just so
It's weird as hell.
Weird. And it's like, I don't know. It's like, it's different for every person, but yeah, coming up on like knowing that like some of my friends who are the year younger than me are like finishing their finals this week, and they have senior week, and I'm so excited for them to graduate, but I'm like, oh my god, like it's been a year since I graduated, and I haven't like accomplished the things that I would hope I would have accomplished. So I don't know. I've been trying to be kind to myself recently.
Whoa.
I'm trying to get into running.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wish I could run.
I can't.
I can't.
I've tried to get into it before. It's hard to keep up. It's difficult.
Yeah.
I hate. It's probably my least favorite form of exercise.
Same, but it's also like for me the only form of exercise that I actually feel like helps calm the anxiety in my head.
Okay, well that's good.
'Cause, I don't know, it's so much exertion for me. So I'm trying to get into running. I've been going to the gym more.
Love.
Just trying to do this insane concept of like taking care of myself, even if I'm busy.
Crazy.
Literally have never done that in my life before. But unfortunately, I have not had a lot of time to like make stuff. I know we're not on that portion yet of talking about what we're
We
making.
can talk about it.
Yeah.
Well, no, Morgan, I need to hear about you first.
I honestly don't have much to report.
Okay, cool.
It's finally like it was really, really nice out this weekend. So
Nice.
I spent a lot of time outside.
Yeah.
It's nice out today. I went to the grocery store today. It's been a while.
Whoa.
Finally. I have things to eat.
Yeah.
And it was so heavy to carry back. Oh my god.
Yeah.
You're so strong and brave.
I really am. My shoulder was like, please, please, please.
How far away is the grocery store from your place?
The one that I go to is like probably like a 20-minute walk. So I usually take the bus.
Yeah.
But so I took the bus there, which is fine because you get off the bus and I still have to walk like 5 minutes.
Okay.
But then coming back, so they didn't have lettuce.
Oh.
Like I go to the big grocery store.
How are we going to make our chicken Caesar salads?
Yeah, come on.
Literally. And so I was like, what the fuck? So I had to go to a different grocery store on the way back. So I had to walk there and then carry all my shit through this grocery store. It's a small one, so it's fine. And then go to the bus and wait for the bus and then come back. And it was just like very
That's
heavy.
a lot.
And,
Yay groceries.
Sorry, what?
Yay groceries.
Yay groceries. I finally got my popcorn again. It's so good. Yay. So I've been eating popcorn.
That's so
I'm so excited.
So that's my news.
Did you guys watch any of the Met red carpet looks?
Yeah, of course I did.
Oh, I barely saw anything, I feel like, on Twitter. It's like half the
I thought they
time
were
I'm
pretty
listening.
good overall.
Yeah.
Zendaya's
I feel like
copy.
I'm probably wrong. I never know where to like look to get like the constant updates. Like whatever Instagram accounts I look at, like never update fast enough. Like
It's on Twitter.
So I know I should have gone on Twitter. I just try to avoid it at all costs.
Or the Vogue website.
Oh, true. But I don't know. I felt like there wasn't like a huge turnout this year. I feel like there were less people that I've seen in the past year. Probably just me not seeing most of them, to be honest.
I feel like I just...
I think there was like the same amount of people. There were less influencers. There were like no influencers.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah. I don't really count Emma Chamberlain as like an influencer there anymore.
No, me neither.
Her look was...
I loved it.
Her look was so good.
People didn't like it, but I loved it.
Her look was really good. It was probably my favorite Met outfit that she's done thus far.
Same. Same, for sure.
Iowa Debris was also gorgeous because she's perfect and does no wrong.
Always.
Sabrina Carpenter...
I didn't really like her
beautiful.
outfit, but she looks great.
Oh, really?
I didn't think it was like phenomenal, but she's just gorgeous and I love her. So
my thing is like you should be wearing stuff that you're not gonna wear to other carpets. Like,
yeah, that's fair.
You know what I mean? I don't know. It felt very tame this year. Where like I feel like it started tame and then it went up like in the past to being very, very crazy. And now it's like quite tame again, with exceptions, of course, but.
Yeah.
I don't know. I liked a lot of the looks.
Zendaya having 2 different looks, both of them astonishingly beautiful, of course, but like the second look having completely different makeup was just crazy to me.
Yeah.
How do they have the time for that? I need like a long essay on the logistics of the Met Gala.
Right?
It's very interesting. You should watch the first Monday in May.
There are some videos coming out from the inside.
From
the Met page, which is
never before seen.
It actually like stopped me in my tracks when I saw that.
Yeah, a lot of Ariana Grande performing is what I'm seeing.
Oh.
But my favorite look was, oh god, what's her name? Taylor.
Taylor.
She was in Bones and All.
Oh, what is her name? The one that's dating Harry Styles.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's gorgeous.
I loved her dress. It was really, really cool. I think that was probably my favorite.
She's not the one that had the mechanical butterflies on their arm.
I don't know her name.
Yeah. But that was so slay. That was
really, There were a lot of really, really, really good looks.
Yeah.
But
interesting. I'll need to look through. And I also do look forward to seeing like people on TikTok talk about stuff because they can do it. A lot of the time they do it from a more technical standpoint. It helps me like better learn. Sometimes I'm just like, no, you're just not saying real things. But
yeah, sometimes you need like an explanation. Like Kendall's was incredible, but it was like it wasn't like to the dress code. It was more to like the exhibition.
Oh, cheers.
So it's like Sleeping Beauties, so it's stuff that can't be worn again because it's too fragile. Yeah. And so she wore a dress that's literally never been worn by a person.
Wow.
It was like they made it, and then I don't remember who it was, but it was shown on a mannequin, and then it was put into the archive.
Wow.
And so they didn't alter it at all. It just like fit her perfectly because they couldn't alter it. But yeah,
that's so interesting. What I have grown to learn, like the more I work on creative stuff that's not fashion related, but just being a creative in general, is like the idea of taking a theme and like pulling like the essence from it and being creative with it and going deeper than just like the surface level. And I do think a lot of like the initial comments and critiques that you get with something like the Met Gala are, I mean, it's, you know, you're judging a book by its cover, right? But
yeah,
it's like immediately like, is this Sleeping Beauty or not? Or like whatever the theme is that year. And it's like, once you hear the explanations for things, you can really start to understand, like still not everyone's going to hit theme, but I think a lot more of them have like more meaning behind it than like we would think.
Yeah.
You know, like the designers are probably very intentional, even if like we don't end up getting it.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very cool.
I was just shocked that it was already Met Gala Monday.
Yeah.
Like, did that not just happen 2 months ago? Apparently not. Apparently not.
Nope. And Lana Del Rey was giving very much Yellow Jackets chic.
I was hoping Taylor Swift would show up now that she's been more like out and about, but it is kind of close to the start of.
Yeah.
When does it start?
Soon, right?
Soon. Within the next 2 weeks. I don't remember the exact date.
Yeah. I feel like in like a couple days.
I think it's in about a week because someone I know is going overseas to see one of the first shows in Paris.
2 days.
Wow. 2 days.
Oh, it is 2 days. I couldn't remember if it was the 9th or the 19th.
9th.
Cool.
Ugh, wish I was going.
Can you imagine flying internationally, overseas, to see Taylor? Getting the Taylor tickets.
If I could.
And then doing that.
What if I could?
Getting tickets.
If I could afford it. Getting tickets, yeah.
What's that like?
I was going to say something and I forgot. Oh, I'm very, very, very excited to see how she incorporates Tortured Poets. Just because initially I wasn't sure if she was going to. Yeah. But I think like in my heart of hearts I knew that she was probably going to do a new era in the show just because it is a new one and she would want to like highlight it. Yeah. But I'm interested in where it's going to go in the set list, what other songs have like inevitably had to be cut to make room for these other ones. I'm like so interested in like the one she chose. I think that's all so fun.
Did you guys see that
Someone had said that the ones that she cut for the first version of the film are the ones that are going to be cut.
Oh, I didn't think
concert.
about that. So she's going to cut like
cardigan? Their theory. Not
That's
confirmed.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that she returned the Speak Now guitar to the museum that it was in?
No.
For Long Live?
No, she brought it back to Nashville?
Yeah.
Damn.
It was on
That's
display somewhere.
There are a few
She's
things
just gonna get rid of Speak Now entirely.
Yeah.
Like, we don't actually need this era, just like she did with her first album.
Yeah.
But, there are a few things that I'm like, I could live without most of my favorite songs on the set list. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Her not having Long Live as, like, a permanent song is just mind-boggling in the same way that her not including even one debut song to me is mind-boggling. I'm like, come on, girl.
Yeah.
You know?
What are you doing? I've seen a ton of people say online, like, the Red era needs to be shorter. Like, it's great, it's fine, the little hat moment is cute, but I don't know, she's performed these songs at literally every tour that she's had since the Red era.
I don't disagree. And I think with Red in 1989, it's really tough because she's had, in my opinion, those two albums have had her, like, biggest singles of her career. Mm-hmm. So, of course, you want to play all of them because it's, like, those are the ones that, like, were, like, the soundtrack to the collective, you know, of our lives. But also at the same time, I do agree, like, I think both of them need to have just, like, one song taken out.
Yeah.
Or, like a mashup, maybe?
Ooh, yeah. She does not do enough mashups on these tours.
I know, I agree.
No.
I would prefer to hear more mashups if it meant I got to hear more songs.
Yeah.
I don't need to hear a full song. I just need to get little
the
tastes
essence of it.
Mm-hmm.
The good parts.
It's also unique. You can't get that again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we all know Taylor loves to monetize, so then she could have sold it.
I wonder.
Sold it, and we all would have bought it.
She'll keep the acoustic section, eh?
Yes. There's no way she doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to watch a live stream. I'm gonna be sat watching a little live stream on TikTok.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. 2 days.
So soon.
What are we working on? We should probably.
Oh, right.
I finished that stupid blanket at long
You mean that beautiful blanket that you loved working on?
Blanket that everyone wants to make when the pattern comes out, probably in a couple of weeks. Yes, I'm so glad it's over. I did finish it before the end of the school year, like I wanted to.
That's so great.
It was my method of procrastination whenever I had like 2 finals left in my entire college career, and I was like, I don't really want it to be over, so I'm just gonna crochet for like 4 hours. And then I did, and then the blanket was done, and I'm very excited about it. Yay! And I'm making heart squares still for a heart pants pattern, probably. Who said that?
Honestly, please write that pattern faster, because I still have all the squares from when I was supposed to make the heart alls.
Yeah.
So I'll be your first tester for the actual pants, because I will make those.
Serve. I'm honestly like, this might run into what we're actually talking about today, but I feel like I just hate putting out tester calls and things like that. Like, I feel like I have a good group of people who want to test things for me. So I don't know if I'm going to do, like, same with what I did with the heart alls, just reach back out to people and be like, hey, do you want to make this?
Yeah. No. So, especially because you've at this point tested so many patterns, and I know a lot of people, like, applied and tested for you a couple different times, so you're friends with them.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And they're reliable people, and they can make good pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool. What are you guys working on?
Morgie, what are you making?
It's going to be the most gorgeous thing we've ever seen. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's so serve. Shut up.
I still have to, like,
that's so fun.
Cut the elastic and sew it.
Yeah, but still, that's awesome.
Et cetera, but, I mean, that's the back.
No, those turned out so good.
That's the back. These are the front.
It's
also inside out, lol. But,
yeah.
But still, that's awesome.
Those turned out so good, dude.
Yeah.
I have to try them on.
Have you not tried them on yet?
Like, I have, but not since I put the elastic in.
Oh, okay.
And, like, folded over the waistband.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So cool.
Yeah. So
that's fun.
Working on that and the t-shirt pattern. Topical.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Anna? I had to frog my dress. which was such a shame. I had called Morgan being like, I should. Morgan was like, yeah. And like the frustrating thing is because when I made my gauge swatch, it didn't account for like the stretch or like I probably should have blocked it so that is on me. But when I was making it, the gauge got bigger, so I just took the gauge swatch from what I had done and undid it, and it's fine. Like, I would rather make something that I'll actually be able to get a lot more wear out of, even if it's frustrating. It's just like I had gotten so far, and it's on little 4mm needles, so it takes a while. But the worst part is it's not like that big of a stitch difference, like a cast on difference. It's a difference of maybe like 15 to 20. But I think it's gonna make a bigger difference just because like I have more hips and like a smaller chest. So having it be like too big on the bottom probably wouldn't have impacted me, like the shaping in that part of the dress. But it would have, I think, looked a little bit awkward for my desired look when I was shaping the top, if that makes sense. So I like hypothetically could have made it work if I kept it, but it's undone now. So I'm back to starting it again, but that's okay. And then I am working on my sweater number 15.
Yes,
even
I
if
saw your
it's
update yesterday, 2 days ago. So pretty.
Yeah, I started working on it again yesterday to do like a little diary video. Cute. It'll honestly come out this week for sure.
Oh my god, I finished one of my sleeves for my levitate wrap.
Oh yeah, I forgot you were working on that.
Yeah, me too.
Love.
That color is so gorgeous.
It's so good.
So yeah, I cast the sleeve off literally today.
Love. Oh, love. Okay, so, perfect.
There we go. Getting
yeah,
places.
There's something about it's gonna like kill me when I finish the sweater and not be able to like wear it out immediately. But there's something so nice about making some opposite season things.
Yeah.
In the season that you're in, where you can like have new clothes at the beginning of the next season. Just because I never make sweaters fast enough in fall and winter to be able to enjoy them. So I don't mind doing sweaters year round. I'm fine with it. That's what I've been working on, and I would like to do more crocheting soon. My goal for the summer is to do like a drop of like stuff I can sell.
Nice.
Which I've never really done before, so we'll see. We will see.
It will go so well. And people will say, can I pay you more for this, actually?
Yes. That's the vision I see as well. Yeah. Yeah, but today we're talking about pattern writing, which I think is something that we're all kind of doing it right now, because I'm going to be writing a pattern for the dress, I think. Savannah, you're talking about the pants. Morgan, you're talking about the top and the shorts.
Yeah, serve. All very different items. I also have the blanket going on.
The blanket, yes. Yes. Which I imagine is so different from writing.
Yeah, that's why I haven't really started writing it. I have like because all my patterns are beginner friendly. But I feel like this one, it's just so, I don't want to advertise how many stitches are in it, but there are 27,000 stitches in it that people would have to make. I feel like that's not very beginner friendly. Like a beginner totally could do it. Like the color changes, it's all double crochet. So the color changes are like, I don't know.
I think it's beginner friendly. It'll just take a long time.
Yeah.
But
I would say maybe like advanced beginner.
Doesn't necessarily require advanced skills.
Yeah, I don't think it does.
I think the only thing that makes it a step above beginner is
the color.
The color changing, and also I feel like maintaining gauge for a project that big is very challenging.
Yeah,
like I know you were saying you even ran into issues like where it was getting smaller. So like understanding that, and also like maybe this is like even pre-beginner, but like making sure that you get to like the very end of a row.
What do you mean?
To keep straight edges.
Oh, true. Oh,
yeah. Like I know that's a big like issue when you're a beginner. It's like you don't actually get to the last stitch. Like the little things I feel like make it just like a step above. Like you probably shouldn't tackle this as your first project, but like maybe the second.
Yeah. I feel like I'll need to include like a lot of like tips and tricks about like how to manage all the yarn and bobbins and like because that's like I feel like advanced people still like struggle with stuff like that, and how to make your color changes look neat and like how to not have a million different ends to weave in. Because my first ever blanket, that had a bunch of color changes. I cut the yarn every single time in every single row. I didn't use bobbins because no one told me. It wasn't in the pattern. So I had I finished the blanket and then I had to take another week to still weave in the ends, which is just so...
My nightmare.
Literally the worst.
Oh, God.
It's awful.
But yeah, we'll figure out that pattern.
Yeah.
When you guys are starting a project that is designed by you, do you often start it with the intention of, I'm just going to make this and see how it goes? Or do you come up with the idea and say, I'm going to make this with the intention of writing a pattern? Because I feel like I do a little bit of both.
I do both, yeah.
I feel like everything, at least since the book, I think I've made one thing that I have. No, that's not true. I've made a couple things that I don't have a pattern for, but then I'm making it and I'm like, I could totally do a pattern for this. This is so... I know exactly how I would write it. I know exactly what I would say, where I would need to take photos. I am, over the next couple weeks, maybe, hopefully going to try to make my first YouTube tutorial, which I feel like is a whole lot different. It's technically pattern writing, but it's not. So that's a whole different ballpark that I'm excited to explore. Hopefully for I don't know if you guys know the sunflower bucket hat that I have. Hoping to do that because it's pretty simple. It's a design literally everyone's seen. So I'm hoping to, I don't know, I feel like it'd be a pretty easy tutorial to make, but also no tutorial can be easy to make. I've never edited a video long form like that. But we'll see.
You can do it.
Yeah.
It's not easy because you have to be a good teacher, but you have so much pattern writing experience that I think you'll find it to be easier than you're anticipating.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
you also have two people who do
two expert YouTubers
tutorials.
And tutorials.
Yeah.
But back to what you were saying, Anna.
Yes.
My Bowie sweater, which is in testing right now, I made it initially as a gift for my friend, and I didn't really have an intention to turn it into a pattern. I really liked how it turned out, and a lot of people were asking for it, and I thought it would be a good basic. So I was like, it's easy enough to write, so I wrote it. But the shorts and the t-shirt, I was like, yeah, I'm going to make patterns for these if they turn out well. So yeah.
And here you are. And they're turning out so well.
I think that makes sense. Sometimes with basics especially, you're like, why would I write a pattern for this? There are so many, but sometimes obviously every person has their own iteration on something. Yeah. Especially if you're not following a pattern, you have a certain look that you're going for, and maybe that certain look is something that other people also haven't been able to find patterns for, so that makes sense. But I find that when I try to design something with the intention of writing a pattern, I almost freak myself out. I'm or I put so much pressure on myself that it has to be perfect or something that I end up not being able to execute it. So I've been trying to focus less on I have to sit down and come up with something to design a pattern. Maybe down the line I'll be able to do that, just because I will be more confident in my ideas and what I make. But for now, my goal for this year and this summer is to just make things that I genuinely want to wear and will make me happy. And if I never write a pattern for them because nobody ever cares, it doesn't matter, because I was making it for me. This is just something that brings me joy. But if people want a pattern from it, maybe I'll write it, that sort of thing. Just because I find I'm I don't know, whenever I've gone into things being I am going to write a pattern for this, I end up getting so in my head about it that I can't, can't finish it.
Yeah.
How about you, Savannah? Well, Savannah, I guess you have a different experience because you had to sit down and write a certain number of patterns.
Everything with the patterns. I was also Hey. I was talking to at the yarn festival I went to. There was another author lady next to me. She was so nice. But with my same publisher. I hope my publisher will never hear this podcast. But she said that whenever she was doing their book with them, or her book with them, and she was published in 2020 or something. So it's been out for a while, and they're making it out of print now. BTW, which I didn't know was a thing. that I would have to consider. But hers has sold very well, so makes me nervous. But anyway, it was a 4-month time frame, and they wanted her to make 25 patterns. 25.
That's disgusting.
Can you imagine trying to do that? I had 6 months and I was like 15. I barely was able to do that. Like, what do you mean? And they wouldn't, like, she would have to knit all the samples herself. And, like, she, like, got other models because she wanted to see it on other sizes. Like, what?
That is insane.
What do you even do with that? How do you even, like...
Crazy.
Yeah. She said she was going to do a second book with them. But she no longer is going to, because what was that experience?
So you guys have come up with an idea that you want to be a pattern.
Yeah.
What do you do next?
Make it.
Well, I'm assuming that you've made it.
Yeah. Okay.
Like say,
well,
like
that's like part of my process though. Is like I'll do a gauge watch, and then I'll do math for like my size and figure out like how I want it to look on me.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'll make it and I'll write notes as I'm making it.
Will you really?
Yeah.
Sometimes I recall that you don't.
Sometimes I don't.
The Bowie sweater I recall being on FaceTime with you, and you hadn't written sufficient notes. But that is always the goal. I always try to do the same thing, and then like I get to a certain point. That's actually the hardest part about like writing a pattern for something I had no intentions of writing a pattern for. I'm like, how did I make this? How did I make it?
Shorts.
Oh.
Yes. Okay, good.
Lots of notes.
That's fabulous.
That is an interesting part of the process,
Sleeve.
I think. Jeez, that's a lot.
Rest of
like
the
whenever I'm making it, serve.
Yeah. The Bowie was very rushed.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to get it done before I went home. The first time. But the second time. Obviously I wrote stuff down because I knew I was making a pattern.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I don't plan on making a pattern for it, I usually won't write down that many notes because it's like, what's the plan?
Yeah.
I feel like it's good practice to do so, just so if you ever needed to recreate it for whatever reason, you have it. But it's also like, yeah, for me, it's like if I'm just making something and I'm just kind of like going with the flow, it's like feels so, it feels so much more like I'm like clocking into work. If I am like starting to write down notes for it instead of like I'm just enjoying crocheting or knitting like as a hobby currently. Like, you know, I know we've had the conversations of like, can you do both at the same time? And I feel like things like that, writing the notes makes me feel much more like I'm like actually doing work.
Yeah.
Rather than just having fun.
So what's your next step?
So we make it, we're writing notes. Once it's finished, taking the measurements and size grading.
It's tough. The numbers are tough. Yeah, it's the same for me. It's like I'll do like my ease for like all of my measurements and the size that I have made for myself. And then I'll do so much math and so many equations. And what I've been doing this for a while. So I use an Excel or like a Google Sheets spreadsheet for everything because it's just makes my life a lot easier to have all of the numbers in one place and all that fun stuff. And I can do equations within the sheet. But I've more recently started getting out every single number that I will need. Like every single number. Because before it would just be like the main like stitch and row counts and whatever. But now it's like every number. Like how many increases are here. How many rows of increases. Like all that stuff. And it has made it a lot easier. Because it's less to think about once I actually have to write it.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That definitely makes sense. Size grading is one of those things that, like, I feel like this is the most frustrating, like, answer, but, like, the only way you're gonna get better at it is to, like, do it and to practice. And, like, we could definitely give tips. Like, I know all of us most pattern designers will use the Craft Yarn Council standards
Yeah.
to like help them write the patterns pre-testing. Obviously, we'll get to testing and like talking about the importance of it, but it's a good standard for the beginnings of your writing. But you know, we can give you tips and tricks of like doing like the formulas in the Excel spreadsheets or like I don't it really is like every time I do size grading, it doesn't matter how many patterns I've written, it just feels like I'm throwing stuff at the wall until it sticks, and then like I am on my hands and knees thanking my testers for giving me feedback that'll actually make it like fit comfortably on everybody. Size grading is just so hard.
Yeah, the difficult part too is it's like you can have 10 people that are technically the same size, but every single body is different.
Absolutely.
Like this is not going to fit anyone perfectly, and it's just something that you have to know and understand and just kind of do your best to make it fit well enough for as many people as you can. But it's still very stressful and very tough because it's like something that I think about every time and I worry about every time, but then I have to like remember that every single person is different. Like it's not going to be perfect for anybody.
Yeah, I feel like that's where a lot of beginner designers must go wrong. Either in like making their first pattern. I feel like whenever you're making your first pattern, the temptation to make it made to measure, because we know that all bodies are very different. But made to measure, at least in my opinion, is so much harder to do than size grading. Like I would much rather just have the standardized thing than have all these incredibly specific instructions that the person has to follow. And I personally like following just like a set of numbers and I don't have to think about anything much more. But it's such a different style of pattern writing. But yes, I wanted to say the Craft Yarn Council standardized sizing. I do know that I saw something on Instagram recently with people trying to, because the Craft Yarn Council only goes up to 5X. I think people are trying to create new standards for 6X and 7X. So I wonder if those will change maybe sometime soon.
That'd be lovely.
It would be.
Yeah, I think like my number one tip for like size grading is like you need to have a good gauge swatch. Like I can understand not wanting to gauge swatch if you're making someone else's pattern. You're just kind of like, you know, gonna try it out. You know, you're just gonna like hope that it works because it's something that you're making for yourself, I guess. But if you're going to make something that you're monetizing off of and people are going to be spending their hard-earned money on, like, do a gauge swatch and make sure it's a good one. And it'll help them when they're choosing a size that's going to fit them in the most comfortable way. You know what I mean? Did that make sense?
Yeah, obvi. I was also wondering, like, with you guys, with all the different things you've done, have you experimented with different kinds of like promo or anything, or are we all just continuing? Like, I don't know. I don't think any of us have ever used like Etsy ads or like Pinterest ads or anything.
They don't need more of my money.
No, they definitely do not.
Enough. Are you kidding?
But I don't
think
know.
I do. I think I'm opted into Etsy's like, not their ads, but
like the off-site ads thing.
Yeah, I don't think you have a choice. Unless
you can opt out of it for someone like me who makes like 3 cents off of Etsy every year. Like out of the three of us, 100% by a long shot make the least out of pattern sales. I also I think have the least
you have
patterns.
Fewer patterns.
Yeah.
But I also I don't promote them or like whatever. You guys have also had good traction on some of yours, which I had with the Oopsie Daisy purse, and then it kind of like died off. But for me, it's like I can opt into that and I'm not losing a lot of money because I don't make a ton. Like, it helps me. It helps me make a couple more sales on Etsy. So it's worth it. But for other people, it's like really not. But there comes a certain point where you literally, Etsy doesn't allow you to opt out, which I feel like maybe at the end we could talk about our thoughts and feelings on like where to put the patterns as well, because there are a bunch of different places that you can choose and it can be kind of overwhelming. But no, I've never done any ads or anything.
No, me neither.
No, neither have I.
I just try wondering. To do usually like as much on TikTok and Instagram to just kind of organically get the word out. It's hard. It's very hard.
Because if those don't pick up, literally, what do you do?
It's, yeah. I think a good thing to do is to wear, I mean, you should be wearing the stuff that you make because that's why you're making it. But I think, like, rather than just straight up, like, promoting a pattern or whatever, like, I think a good idea is to just wear it in your videos.
Yeah.
Because
100%.
people will ask about it anyways.
Yeah. Even if it's a video specifically for the pattern and you have all the details in the caption, people will still ask.
Yeah, like, and it shows that it's wearable. And that you stand by your own product, which is important. But yeah, that's what I like try to do. I just always forget. I'm like, I forgot I made these and own them.
Yeah. I do feel like the most authentic way to get sales is to just like Morgan said, stand by your own product. Like, at the end of the day, like, you should be making something that you will wear. And that doesn't mean that it's not trendy. Like, there are plenty of, like, trendy things that, you know, you'll enjoy now and you won't end up wearing in the future just because it'll go out of style. But as long as you'll wear it and you'll enjoy it, like, make something that even if you got 0 pattern sales, you're going to be happy that you've still been able to make it for yourself and have it in your collection. And also, this is something that, like, we've talked about a little bit, but I don't think any of us have really, like, dove deep into is SEO, search engine optimization. It's just using the correct keywords and buzzwords to get traction organically. Figuring out what people are searching. And answering their demand, basically. You'll rank higher in search even if it's not the best selling pattern, even if it's not the most viewed video. If you do SEO properly, you'll do well. You'll get on people's feeds more. I can't really speak to it more than that, just because it's something that I've tried to learn, and it's, like, more confusing than
it's hard.
I initially thought it would be, to be honest. But if that's something that you are interested in, it's a good way to kind of organically get your content onto people's radar.
But back to like pattern writing process. What are your guys' processes?
To write the pattern? I mean, I normally have the notes, like you said. And then it's basically just a matter of cleaning up the notes and making them comprehensible, sentence form. I didn't used to. I used to only use Canva for my patterns, and I like have a Google Doc with my notes on it, and that I just copy over and make it look pretty. But now I also offer that like print friendly version because I didn't realize that people print out their patterns. That's not something I ever do. But yeah, and now it's a bit different because I have the Canva one and the printable one, and I don't know. The printable one is sometimes slightly different, like with the Hard Alls pattern. Just with the photo arrangement that I have to do in Canva, to make the photo placement make sense, I like have to move the instructions around a bit or make I don't know, combine 2 steps into one, if that makes sense. So it's all very finicky and very different for each pattern. But at least with like, I think I also enjoy patchwork patterns so much because I already have like the set instructions for each square from my past patterns. So I can just copy that over. Everything else is normally different. The parts I hate the most, which are like sizing and everything, still have to do all those calculations. But yeah, it's really just, since I take notes, it's just cleaning those up. But that still takes a long time, which is why I'm avoiding the cat blanket pattern right now.
Yeah, I'm similar. If I'm smart when I'm designing something, I'll take notes. That doesn't always happen. Sometimes I'm very much like trying to go back and like retrace my steps basically. But regardless, I'll go through. I normally write everything in Google Docs first, just because it's easiest for me to go back and edit that way, opposed to like editing my like designed formatting. I've done it previously in Canva, but I wouldn't be surprised if I switch over to something like Illustrator in the future, just because I'm becoming more comfortable with the software, so I can like do a little bit more with it. But yeah, I'll write in Google Docs first. That's normally how I'll send it out to my testers. I'll clean up like all of my notes to make it like more comprehensible to someone who's not me. And I I tend to try to I try to find like the middle ground between like over explaining and explaining just enough.
Yeah.
Like I want it to be like, even if this is like a pattern that's outside of your comfort zone a little bit, maybe it's more challenging than you've done, which a lot of my patterns really aren't. They're much more beginner friendly. I want it to be well explained. I don't want people to look at it and be like, what the hell is going on? You know what I mean? Like, I know that's like, you can't do that for everybody. There's definitely going to be a certain amount of like you're going to have to answer some questions, which that's fine. That's normal. But, I try to, in some ways, like over explain in certain areas, which can be hard without coming across as rambly. But
it's
I just
tough
want people I want it to be clear.
Yeah. I'm always like, oh, people will understand this. And then I have to remind myself, some people won't.
Yes.
Even if it's very, very obvious.
You can make it as clear as physically possible, and people just won't read them sometimes and then blame it on you.
Yep.
I got a DM the other day from someone who's very sweet. They've been making a couple of the patterns from the book. And because I over-explain, I think, like you, Anna, but they said that my patterns are very neurodivergent friendly, which I thought was... I've never heard anyone use that term in the realm of pattern writing before. But I would love to know how, so I can continue to
I
do
wonder
that.
if it's because you explain so thoroughly that there's no
room for question.
Gray room that you kind of have to like assume and like pick up on like the nuances, which I know can be challenging for some people. But that's interesting. I'd be interested in hearing like to them what makes it neurodivergent friendly, I guess. But that's cool. Yeah. So I'll do it in Google Docs. Then sometimes I'll go to Canva. Morgan, I know you use Illustrator. But yeah, oh my god, there's like a fly flying around me. Hello? Hold on, sorry. I got it!
Nice.
Thank you. There was one hitting my like light last night, and it was like hitting it.
Girl, shut up.
I'm like, hello, I'm trying to relax. Sorry, anyways.
It's staying in, by the way.
Okay, cool. But yeah, I'll send the just Google Docs, either the PDF or like a link to it, to the testers, just so edits can be made easier. And then after they grace me with their kindness and knowledge, I will fix it and make it look pretty. But how do you guys do your testing process? Because I feel like for all of us, we normally test our patterns.
I feel like it's the same across all Instagram people, where you like make the Google form and people fill it out. You ask a bunch of different questions about like, I don't know, just their name, Instagram handle, whatever. I'm thinking lately, I don't really want to do this, but I think the getting photos from testers and like being able to use those in promo are probably the most important part of testing to me, because that's all I look at like now. Do you know what I mean? Like obviously the feedback is incredibly helpful when I'm writing the pattern, but in the years since I've released those patterns and like need to promote them and everything, those pictures are so important, especially whenever I want to show what it looks like on different bodies. So I'm considering like maybe with future applications, like making people submit photos to like, you can do good photos, because sometimes people don't submit the best photos and the lighting just isn't there and all of that. But yeah, I usually give them a month or two, depending on the garment, depending on how difficult it is. I wish I could give like yarn support or something. I would love to start being able to do that. But that's also an incredibly complicated thing to organize. So
I do the same. I do the Google form and the Instagram group chat. And it's very good, because then they can, like, if I'm busy, they can help each other. But
and it's fun. Like
always like my favorite part. Everyone gets
so nice like you get to like chit chat, and it's like it's a really cute little like space, and like it's so nice when other people can like help. You know, I don't know. Yeah, the group chat is fun.
Yeah,
I do the same thing you guys do the form and then pick. What was I gonna say? Oh, I feel like if you're listening to this because you're interested in like learning how to write a pattern, you've probably seen the tester calls where people will have like if you want to apply, you have to like follow, like the post, like tag 2 people.
Don't do that.
I personally don't see any, like, you can get engagement for your page or your pattern in a way that is probably going to be more helpful, just because, in my opinion, to have like a successful pattern, you want to have people who like are there for the right reasons, and sometimes we need to like ask those questions, and those are the questions that normally like we ask in the form, like, why do you want to test this, like what's your skill level, like things that are relevant, opposed to just like you are someone who
engagement
crochets or knits and wants to do this and maybe isn't actually going to be the best fit. I don't know, I personally don't see a lot of benefit in the tester calls that require you to like tag 2 friends or whatever, share it to your story. Like, there are other ways that you can get engagement for your page over a tester call, in my opinion. But
good pictures.
That's all, like, at the end of the day, if it works for people, it works for people. I think I would find it to be more stressful to do it that way rather than with an actual application.
And people who care.
I'll normally, I think there's also another step of like needing to go and fill out the form really shows a level of like, I genuinely am interested in this and I would like to do it. And like, for me, I'll go through and I will, I'll close the form once it's to either the deadline that I set out, or if it was popular, I'll close it earlier, just because it can get very overwhelming. Getting like a large number of applicants can, like, you probably look at it and you're like, I want that. Like, I want hundreds of people to apply, because that's a very heartwarming thing that, like, you know, that many people want to make your pattern, but it's very overwhelming to then look through all of them. But I'll export the responses to like a Google Sheets, and I will, I'll start going through. I'll normally look at the responses, and I'll look at like the skill level, and I normally ask for their Instagram or a photo.
Same.
And I'll check out like not only their other work, but like how they take their pictures. And then I try to have about 2 testers per size if I'm doing something that has different sizes.
Same, at least.
Yeah.
Sometimes for the more popular ones, I'll do 3. Like the small, medium, and large. Just to get like a wider variety of feedback. But yeah. Usually it's 2. Sense. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, the testing process is, honestly, it can be quite stressful in the beginning as you're like first putting it together. But once you do something like you make a group chat or you make an email thread or something like that, like in whatever way you choose to communicate with your testers, it's pretty, for me, seamless after that. You're just answering questions, and like maybe people are like, oh, like you wrote like single crochet, I think you mean double crochet here. Like they're catching stuff as they go. And then once the testing cycle is coming to a close, you'll send out a feedback form. The testers will fill it out. They'll send you their photos. What I've been doing, just because I would also love to provide yarn support if I could, but like I said, I make like literally like $10 from my patterns on all platforms at like every month, like literally at best. I will offer to send them like another one of my patterns for free, as well as the actual completed pattern as like a thank you. But like my number one tip is to treat your testers with love, care, and respect. They are doing you a very, very, very huge favor. They don't have to be doing this.
No.
Yes, they applied, but like they're doing this out of the goodness of their heart. Just for at best, like what, 2 patterns? That's at very most, what, $20? If you have 2 $10 patterns, like they're doing this because they care about you and your art, and they're just being kind. So if they like need flexibility, grant them that. Like, this is not life or death. This is a pattern.
Yeah.
Be nice to your testers.
Yeah. And if you're testing and you can't finish, please tell the designer.
Communicate. Yes. Just communicate.
Rather than ghosting.
Yes.
100%. I can't tell you how many. I think I had originally over 300, maybe 350 testers for the book. but then after, like, I had to go through like every single, it was overwhelming. And I had to go through and make a list of all the testers. I had a list of all the testers. And I wasn't able to like keep up with each of them individually. Normally in a pattern test, you're nice to them, they're nice to you. You can communicate with them individually, but I was dealing with hundreds of them at a time. So some of them just got like lost throughout the process. And I think a good 25% of the testers just totally ghosted. I would message them, be like, because it wasn't that long. It would be maybe a month after the pattern test ended that I was like, oh, shoot, like this person just never got back to me. Let me DM them. Let me like just try to reach out and like figure things out. It's literally the worst. And I think also before you start ever pattern designing, I think it's important to do a pattern test to see
100%.
what you like in, I don't know, in these sorts of communications. I feel like it can be a, not a power dynamic, but I feel like whenever I was doing my first pattern test, I like viewed the designer as like a god, not realizing that there would be mistakes in the pattern. Like I needed to be looking for things to fix. So yeah, I very highly recommend. And even still, like I wish I did more pattern tests because I love learning about like other people's pattern writing styles and like seeing what I can make my patterns better with. And it's just fun. It's so much fun.
Yeah. I've learned so much from other people. And there is a difference also, I think this is important to say, between stealing from other people in the way that they like do or write things. Like don't verbatim copy, like if you like the way someone decreased like a sleeve, that doesn't, like I'm not saying to take that and run with it, but I'm saying like, oh, like I never thought about that as how you could do this type of shaping. Like learning from patterns and then learning from the other people who run their test knit process or tester process.
Testing,
just like, because I feel like at times it can get with certain things a little confusing of like you think that you're just like pulling inspiration from and you're probably just like taking it a little bit more than you should. Probably rare, but I still think that's like important to say.
But yeah, that's it. That's you write a pattern.
Yeah.
I thought you were a pattern.
So just do everything we said and you have a pattern.
And then you're perfect.
Yay.
And then we talked about promoting it. We'll normally just post on Instagram, TikTok. Yeah. I normally say to my testers, like, if you want to post about it,
you can.
It's appreciated. You don't have to. I'm not going to force them to.
Those sorts of requirements,
I'm not going to force you to.
I don't know if that's an unpopular or popular opinion, but I feel like because a lot of people in larger sizes that I get also just don't have crochet Instagrams. So like, am I gonna force them to post on their personal Instagram like about my pattern? Like that's just weird. That's not something people do. So I don't know. Yeah. I feel like people should. Hopefully they're excited to post about it, and you don't have to like make it a weird requirement. And they're doing this for free for you anyway. They're doing a lot for you. Be nice to them.
Just be kind and be communicative. It's like always good to keep that line of communication open, and if you're kind, you'll be easier to talk to if things come up. Like someone can't finish, you know, maybe they'll be less afraid to message you if you let them know that this is like a safe space and you're being very like helpful and kind to me.
Yeah.
To round out, where do you guys sell your patterns, and do you like the platforms?
Ooh. Now that could be a whole separate episode on whether we like
sticky
the platforms.
I don't like any of
I feel like we could do a whole episode on Etsy, kind of like we did with Pinterest.
Yeah. We totally should. Yeah.
We should.
If people want that, comment down below.
Let us know.
Yes.
Yeah, I have Etsy, Ravelry, Lovecrafts, and then my own website.
Do you do Ribbler?
No. Oh my god, I have to pay my Ravelry invoice.
Yeah, I always forget to pay my Ravelry fees. It's like $5.
I think I have to pay mine.
Genuinely. I got the email whenever it was, and I was like, actually, fuck off. Not right now.
So most platforms will just take the fees automatically.
Yeah.
Ravelry does not.
Special.
Does not.
Don't know why. You have to pay your invoice every month or something. I don't know. Once again, don't sell a lot of patterns. Could not tell you.
Well, because for them, it depends.
It is
on
time
how much
to be
you
real.
Sell. Again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone pause. Everyone pose.
Serve.
Well, because Ravelry will only take from you if you make like above or above a certain like threshold.
Yeah.
So I think that's why, which I think is really nice.
Yeah.
They definitely have the least amount of fees.
Yeah.
So I will happily give them my
whatever
like
they
$3 to $8 every month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Ravelry is also just a pain to work with. I think about I say this a lot with every pattern website though, I think.
Yeah, they're all difficult. They're all archaic. Like,
yes. I think Etsy's probably the most streamlined, but it's also, you can kind of tell it's not made for crochet pattern listing. Yeah, it's Etsy and has high fees. I definitely make the most of my sales on Etsy because they bring in like half the traffic that I get.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think all of those plus Ribbler.
Yes.
Because I just started Lovecrafts, and Lovecrafts is really weird, and I really don't like their pattern design.
They have to approve your pattern. It's so weird.
Which I was trying to
add, because my Oopsie purse, I use Paintbox yarn. Yeah. I was trying to add it, and it would not let me add and I'm like, I'm good. So like, my eye was like twitching. I'm like, this is really frustrating me. But even like the best platforms, like even like Shopify, it's like you have to, like, that's what my personal website is on. You have to obviously like design and everything first. You have to add an extension that allows you to sell a digital download, which can be a little annoying, but that's probably like the easiest for me. Like place to upload, but like Ravelry, Ribbler, Lovecrafts, like you have to jump through a lot of hoops.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
Which is just like, it's just tedious. It's not hard, but it's just so tedious and time consuming.
Yeah. But yeah, is that it?
Those are patterns.
I think so.
Pattern.
I hope this was helpful. I feel like it was. We just ramble.
Don't tell if it wasn't.
We just ramble.
No, I feel like most of the good advice I've gotten from learning how to pattern design comes from like one person's random Instagram story that I just happened to see, and I'm like, that's the best tip I've ever learned. So I feel like this is the right format to learn how to pattern design.
Hopefully this was helpful.
Yeah, what are we watching? What are we listening to? Reading, etc., etc.
Espresso.
Okay, you still
thinking about me every night. Is it that sweet? I get sorry, I don't want to get copyrighted. I know I sound just like her.
Identical.
Identical. I watched the Blair Witch Project the other day. It wasn't as good as I was expecting. Like, obviously it was.
It's like it's more like revolutionary, I'd say, than like, or like, I don't know. Yeah, it was kind of like fucked up the way that they made it. Like, like
the way they promoted it. Like, everyone actually thought these people were dead and this was real.
But the way that they like actually made it, they like
putting them in the actors woods for real. Yeah.
And leaving them there and like scaring the shit out of them.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It is.
And letting them get
method acting. Yeah, I could not do that.
That's nuts.
And now like all of them are like only known for this movie, and it's impossible for them to get roles because of it.
There's something going on with it.
Is there?
Yeah, something's happening, and they're like petitioning to get residuals or something like that.
Oh.
There's something going on with the film.
Yeah, they should get good money for that.
But yeah.
Yeah. No, it wasn't as good as I was expecting, but still interesting in film history, I guess. I wasn't really scared at all, which is kind of the goal. But it probably would have been scary back in the day.
So. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you guys?
Anna?
I've been watching Bridgerton. I rewatched season 1, and I'm starting to watch season 2 for the first time just because season 3 looks so good to me.
Yes.
And I don't want to skip a season.
Yeah.
Season 2 has been like fine so far. I think it's okay. Yeah. I think I just haven't gotten to the like good part yet, just because it's like it's enemies to lovers.
Yeah. Okay.
That's like, it's not exactly the trope, but like that's like the trope that they're going with for this season. Mm-hmm. And I think when I read that trope in a book, I feel like it's very exciting, but when I watch it, it is hit or miss.
Fair.
So real.
And I also really, really loved season 1, so it's hard to come off of that sort of thing. Yeah. But it is good. I just like, I don't know. Sometimes I really love a timepiece. And I think it's so silly how like they make it so modern with like the music and like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's fun. I've honestly been in a bit of a reading slump with the exception of my Queen Emily Henry's new book. I devoured it.
Yeah.
It was not my favorite from her, but it was very good. Per usual. I don't think she'll write anything that I will dislike. Like, I'll definitely have ones that I like more than others, but like I just really love her writing style.
Yeah.
So that was exciting. Have we talked about The Tortured Poets yet?
I don't think we have.
Because I think our last episode we recorded pre it coming out.
The day before it came out.
Yeah. So I've been listening to that, but mainly just the songs that like are my favorites. I haven't really, since it came out, listened to the album in full. It's not my favorite Taylor album. I have a large appreciation for it as like a diehard Swiftie.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be one of those albums that like it probably will grow on me. Right. Just because I do like her more songwriting heavy albums like Folklore and Evermore. So I could see it growing on me. It's just not my favorite like sonic vibe.
It's just so long to get through.
It's just a lot. That's like I find it to be very overwhelming. Like when it first came out, I was like almost like anxious because of it.
Yeah.
Just because there was like a lot. It was a lot to consume. It was all I was seeing on social media.
Yeah.
But my favorites are Clarabow, Florida, Smallest Man Who Ever Lived. I like a lot of them. Yeah. But it's literally gonna take like 6 months to a year for me to like really fully appreciate the album, just because it's like so, not only are there so many songs, but it's so rich in songwriting.
Yeah.
It's like very overwhelming to take in. Like it's not when I'm putting on like a little song for the car.
Yeah.
Like that's not what I'm reaching for. Yeah. But I like it. I like it.
I'm not a fan.
Oh, I know. It's not. Like,
I can do it with a broken heart
style,
and that's about it. Yeah, it's really just not for me.
You're just not like you're not as big of a Swiftie as like me and Savannah. No. You like her stuff, so that's what I've heard. Where I'm like, the people who aren't big Swifties are not loving it as much, which is fair.
Yeah.
I think I've only listened to it all the way through once. It was while I was playing poker, and sometimes it would get silent, and my friends would get to hear the beautiful lines of, "You know ball, I know Aristotle," and they'd say, "Savannah, what?"
No, that song is so cute. I love it.
Yeah, but it's just, I don't have the time to sit down and loop it for 2 hours. My bad.
That's fair.
Well, now that you are a college graduate, first of all, you can understand her big words because you're officially smart.
Yes.
And then also you can sit and hang out and work, and maybe in between that actually pick up our FaceTime calls.
Yeah, as if.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You guys ask so much of me.
Sorry.
I will. Easy. I actually need like a FaceTime call to actually sit down and write this blanket pattern because no one's gonna make me do it. But
we'll just like half the time we just sit and like co-work.
Yeah.
It's just like one of us is like pounding on our keyboard and the other person's like click, click, click.
Yeah.
And the two sounds, then one of us is like, okay, I'm gonna leave now. Bye.
Bye. Gotta go. But yeah.
Morgan, what have you been watching? You're still reading Percy Jackson?
Yeah. The like second Dairy series.
Yeah.
The Heroes of Olympus. I'm on the second book. I'm almost on the second book. Very good. Very good.
Great.
I'm rewatching Psych.
Oh yeah,
because they put all 8 seasons on Netflix, and I was like, I guess if I have to, because I was like really needing something that was like familiar and easy, and then I like logged onto like Netflix.com, and they were like, "Here's Psych," and I was like, "Okay,
that's so awesome." I love Psych. Psych is so underrated.
I've seen it so many times.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite shows. So yeah, that's been fun. That's it, really.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Love.
Yeah.
I've been so busy I haven't really had time to do a ton of new shows and even explore YouTube and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Real.
Well.
All right. Yay, episode. Wait, okay. I love doing the outro. It's so much fun.
Yes.
Okay, are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so thanks for listening to this week's episode of The Crochet Authority. If you liked it, which we know you did, make sure to rate it. How many stars?
5.
And give us the best review possible wherever you can. Also, make sure to stay up to date with us on Instagram and TikTok at The Crochet Authority. Also, follow our personal accounts on social media because we are perfect. Bye.
Bye.